I trust you're doing well. Welcome to the broadcast. Now on to our top story this afternoon. The family of the deceased Moi Girls boarding mistress says it remains with more questions than answers as their kin's, or rather into their kin's death. Speaking earlier today after ferrying her body from Eldoret to Kakamega funeral parlor, the kin says the symptoms she presented on her last days do not match the cause of death they were given. They are calling on the government to come clean on the reasoning behind the outbreak that caused the death, even as they contemplate legal action.
Nikaenda kwa daktari kutaka kujua what the problem is. Daktari akaniambia test za kwanza zenye walifanya walipata acute spleen, enlargement of the spleen, enlargement of the kidney and enlargement of the liver. Nikauliza daktari causes ya hii enlargement ni nini? Daktari hakusema. Nikamuuliza tena, have you mmebainisha causes ambayo ina result into this? Daktari hakuniambia. Akaniambia wamefanya laboratory tests ambazo zimetumwa Lancet in South Africa, wanangoja majibu. At that point daktari anasema the only way, mtu mwenye alikuwa anamuattend kwake alikuwa anaitwa, he's a physician, anaitwa Francis, Dr. Francis. Akasema the only way to save your sister's life ni kumpeleka dialysis, because at this stage kidneys hazifanyi, liver haifanyi. I became curious, nikamwambia, you see, we as a family demand to know ni nini imepelekea kidney kufail na liver kufail. Unaweza katu explainia before mpeleke kwa dialysis. What the doctor told me, quote and quote, ni kwamba if there is a problem, hata kama kutakuwa na leg food poisoning or anything, that dialysis itakilin zote na itoe kabisa. So I said, okay, mnaweza endelea. So
every Kenyan has a right to a clean and healthy environment, and if that right is not guaranteed, then he or she is supposed to seek legal redress. So as a family, we are interested in giving our sister a befitting send-off, and those are the plans that we are currently involved in. As you can see, we are at Kakamega Referral Mortuary, where we come to do the documentation and ensure that everything is set. We just want to plead with the government to correct these acts of omissions and commissions that are at the school. And if it is true that the death of my sister has been brought forward through irresponsibility on the part of Board of Management, then let the government see how it can be corrected. Otherwise, we leave everything to God. It's all vanity, and we thank God for her life and hope that in future no teacher, no student should die because of acts of omissions or commissions in an educational institution. If it was malaria at Sheyue, a few hours later a test is done, the same test is done in Oasis and it's negative, then I don't trust that was malaria. Because at Oasis, the first test that was done was a test to detect if malaria was within the blood system. So I don't think that it was malaria. The whole thing here is about acute liver and kidney failure. So it is important that we address the causes of this organ failure. That is the big point. Concerning the legal action that the family is going to take, well, I cannot speak for the whole family. We are just at the mortuary and we're getting back to a family meeting. Then from the family meeting, we'll set the way forward. We also need to consult with the husband of our late sister who left this morning to go and make arrangements at his place. So we are consulting far and wide, and we'll see what action is necessary for this kind of event.
While police in Malindi have confirmed 4 bodies of dead persons and rescued at least 10 people from a cult-like fasting at Shakahola village in Kilifi County. The 4 bodies are being preserved at the Malindi Sub-County Hospital mortuary. Now, according to the Malindi Sub-County Investigative Officer Charles Kamau, the 4 who died on their way to hospital are among the 15 who were rescued by the police after they had been brainwashed to fast for long hours by the Good International pastor Paul Mackenzie.
I and my team proceeded to Chakama, in a place called Shakahola, and we went there based on an information that there were some people who were cited by members of public having been starved somewhere and were just about to die. We rushed there and we were able to rescue about 15 people, and among the 15 people, 4 died as we were proceeding to hospital, because the area is very vast and vehicles could not get to where they are. So as we are trying to get them to where the transport was, 4 succumbed, and the rest were taken to hospital, and 3 were in critical condition. Up to now, they're in critical condition, and 8 were stabilized, and they are in good condition.
Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua held a meeting with central leaders and stakeholders in Nyeri County with the aim of combating illicit brew that has consumed many young people within the region and left them helpless and jobless. According to Gachagua, the meeting is supposed to help come up with a long-lasting solution towards the menace, saying that many young people had opted to move out of school due to drug abuse. He reiterated that President William Ruto is into it to ensure the problem is solved once and for all.
Leaders, those of us who have been elected, Madam Moi Girls, Governor Kahiga, Badirisha, Kangata, Wamatangi, what shall we tell our people? Where are we? What shall we tell the people who elected us? When we meet them, what shall we tell them? When our children got wiped out by alcohol and drugs, where are we? We'll have nothing to say. Dede Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wa, Madhenge, mutaambia watu nini? Mukami, mutaambia watu nini? So please, this forum here today, let us be open and candid. Speak from your heart. Let us know what ails us. What is it must we do? We have the support of the president and he is waiting. Vijana wetu wameisha. Kwa kitanda, instead ya kulala kwa kitanda juu, wanalala chini. Wamama ndio wanalala juu peke yao. Ukienda shule zetu zote, the classrooms are empty. Hata hii magavana ECD mnashida mkiweka pesa is nonsense. There are no
Medical union officials from Machakos County have urged the national government to disburse cash to counties as the lack of cash has crippled service delivery, more so in the health sector. While speaking to the media, Dr. Charles Okumu, chairman KMPDU Lower Eastern, that is Machakos, Makueni and Kitui counties, issued a 7-day strike notice so that all doctors will have their pay on time in order to deliver services to the common mananchi. Okumu also confirmed that the medics in the 3 counties, that is Machakos, Makueni and Kitui, have been paid their salaries, whereas some of their colleagues in majority of other counties were suffering. He added that doctors in those counties who haven't been paid have been urged to withdraw their services. Okumu said that some of the counties are Nandi, Bomet, Kisumu, Taita Taveta, Mombasa, among others, and come Tuesday next week, they will have alternative means.
2 days ago, we gave notices to the other counties that have not paid. Majority of the counties in Kenya have not paid salaries for doctors and other healthcare workers. For 1 month, others 2 months, some even 3 months, like Kisii County. So 2 days ago, we gave a warning to these counties through our national office in Nairobi that we shall be asking those members to withdraw their services in the various hospitals, those doctors, those other healthcare workers, to withdraw their services, and generally all the county government workers in those counties that have not paid. Na sisi tunashukuru sana manake huku mkanda wa Lower Eastern, especially county ya Machakos, tunashukuru sana Her Excellency Governor kwa sababu wameweza kulipa wafanyikazi. She's been able to pay workers consistently and in good time. Even though we fear that this might be a challenge because of what we've heard the Council of Governors say about delayed disbursement of funds to counties. So we are aware that about 92 billion Kenya shillings are owed to the various 47 counties in disbursement. So hii inatupea hofu kwa sababu sasa tunajua governor anajaribu sana kulipa wafanyikazi, lakini tunaona kuna a sort of push and pull between the national governments and the county governments. So we want to ask the national government to quickly disband these funds to the counties so that even those counties that are not as lucky as, let us say, in Machakos county that have consistently been able to pay these salaries, those workers are paid salaries so that in 7 days they are able to continue with their work.
The government will provide security escorts to motorists using the Kitale-Lodwar road following increased cases of banditry along the route. This is according to the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Abdi Hassan. Speaking in Doldol town on Thursday in Laikipia North Sub-County, where he oversaw relief food distribution, Hassan noted that all vehicles using the road will be provided with armed security escort by the police in a bid to tame banditry and restore normalcy along the busy road. This comes on the backdrop of recent banditry attacks along the road where several people have been killed and others injured by armed gangs.
Hatuna nafasi na majambazi. Tutawasaka, tutawarokota na tutawashughulikia jinsi inavyotakikana, manake wametuletea madhara ambayo hatuwezi kugharimia kwa wakati huu. Hakuna nafasi hata kidogo ya ujambazi katika sehemu hii. Na baada ya mkutano tumeweka mkazo ya kushika doria zaidi katika sehemu hii. Vile vile tuko na mpango ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba msitu huu usitumike kuwa maficho ya hawa majambazi na pengine kuendelesha ama kuweza kutumia msitu huu kueneza visa vya uhalifu katika sehemu hii. Wananchi wa sehemu hii ni wananchi ambao wanapenda amani, wanakaa kwa amani, na kwa hivyo hawastahili kuingiliwa jinsi ambavyo wameweza kuingiliwa.
Meanwhile, the Senate Health Committee and the County Assemblies Forum on Friday held a meeting with the Controller of Budget, Dr. Margaret Nyakongo, where proposals on increasing health budgetary allocations took center stage. In the current financial year, county governments allocated 124.89 billion shillings to the health sector, which is a decline from the financial year, that is the 2021-2022 financial year, where 128.76 billion shillings was allocated to the sector.
Current financial year, and I'm talking financial year 22-23, the county governments have allocated Kenya shillings 124.89 billion to the health sector, which translates to an average of 25.2% of the cumulative budgets. And you may wish to know that this is a decline from the Kenya shillings 128.70 billion that was allocated in financial year 21-22. The counties that have allocated below 20% of their budgets are listed there: Baringo, Kakamega, Kilifi, Laikipia, Meru, Nairobi. Counties that have allocated above 30%, again we have listed Elgeyo Marakwet, Homa Bay, Kericho, Kiambu, Kirinyaga, Kisii, Kisumu, Kitui, Machakos, Makueni, Murang'a, Nakuru, Nandi, Narok and Nyeri.
Now, Collins Kwonyiko, a peace ambassador from Lomuge in Tangul Bay Ward, Baringo County, has succumbed to gunshot wounds after being shot by suspected bandits who made away with 77 herds of cattle taken on Wednesday. Now, this is reported that Kwonyiko had questioned the suspected bandits why they are tainting the image of the community, and in response, the suspected bandits sprayed him with bullets. Tiati leaders led by Tangul Bay MCA Shadrach Mailuk Kipkorir MCA, or rather Rip Korar MCA Daniel Tuit and Silale Ward MCA Clement Romampuguria have condemned the attack, further urging the government to double its efforts in smoking out the cattle rustlers terrorizing residents. This even as more boots are expected to be deployed as of Saturday, according to Cabinet Secretary of Interior, Professor Kithure Kindiki, while being grilled by legislators on Wednesday. Muslim community in Embu have protested dumping of garbage in the cemetery located in Kagunga village, Manyata constituency. They claim their departed kin can't sleep in peace as their graveyard is choked with garbage that keeps accumulating day by day. They accused the former regime of Governor Martin Wambora of sanctioning the illegal dumping that started close to 10 years ago. Shaban Juma said the space allocated to them over 4 decades ago by the defunct municipal council, instead of serving as memorial site for the departed loved ones, has turned out to be a source of pain, as some of the graves cannot be traced as they have either been covered by heaps of garbage or run over by trucks ferrying garbage.
Makaburi ya wazee wetu tuko tunazika hapa, kama huyo mzee unasikia anaitwa Sheikh Hussein. Huyo ni mwanzilishi mkubwa wa huyu mji wetu wa Embu kwa Kiislamu. So tunasikitika sana tukija tukikuta ati hata huwezi fika kwenda kumuombea maiti yako, na sisi katika vitu tuna value sana Waislamu ni maiti yetu. Pahali unazika maiti, unajua lazima tu visit kaburi, tunamuombea maiti yetu, Mungu amweke pahali pema. Na sio kwa sababu ya vile sasa kuna dampi wa uchafu mwingi. Sasa hata kaburi zingine zishafunikiwa, huko ni makaburi matupu, lakini hauwezi jua kaburi ya mtu wako yuko wapi.
Jaribu effort yetu wakati tumeona hizi takataka zimeanza kuwekwa hapa, tukanunua vigingi kama jamii ya Kiislamu, tukishikana sote Embu County, tukakuja tukaweka vigingi vya kujaribu kufence ili hizi gari za ambazo zinaleta takataka ziwache kuweka hapa. Unfortunately ni kama hizo vigingi waliondoa na takataka wakaendelea kuwekelea. Tumekuwa tukifuata serikali ya Wambora ili jaribu kutusahihishia hii mambo ikue rahisi kwetu.
Hii pahali ni kuna pahali mababu zetu, wazazi wetu wote wamezikwa hapa, lakini sasa inakuwa hili ni jala limekuja la kutuwekelea uchafu juu. Sasa hata tuna heshima katika hali ya makaburi yetu hapo hivi, hata ukija unashindwa utazika mtu wako wapi. Kaburi zile zaonekana ni 2, zingine zote ziko chini ya takataka.
Now, through the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, the government has mapped out community land and forests for community-based organizations and corporate groups to adopt as funds are extended to them for restoration initiatives, as it will also avail the ecosystems for both state and non-state actors to adopt for a period of 3 years, allowing time to grow and nurture trees. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
Speaking during the launch of the Terra Fund in Nakuru County, the head of National Tree Growing Restoration Campaign, Ms. Linda Kosgei, noted that with as little as 30,000 shillings, a group would adopt up to 10 acres ecosystem and cater for purchase of seedlings, watering of the trees and weeding each year until the trees are mature enough to sustain themselves.
And the Terra Fund is a very important initiative in realizing this particular goal of moving Kenya's tree cover from 10% to 30%. This is because it is going to give an opportunity to stakeholders, including CBOs, MSMEs, and local communities, to be able to tap into resources that is very important in terms of tree growing.
In attendance, Elgeyo Marakwet Governor Wesley Rotich rallied Community Forest Association, schools and community-based organizations to plug into the program that ensured that people earned a meaningful livelihood while maintaining the environment.
For the first time, we are getting people innovative solutions where we are looking at nature-based enterprises where we get money, at the same time we are actually scaling up and restoring the environment, degraded landscape. Meaning that going forward, we are actually going to make money like anyone else, but in the process, we make money and also protect our environment, or even grow and make sure that we grow more trees.
Nakuru Deputy Governor David Kones, while calling on the residents to plant trees in all available spaces, noted that the funds would go a long way in mitigating climate change that has seen water levels in lakes Nakuru and Naivasha rise uncontrollably.
I want us to sensitize our youth, our mothers, especially our youth and mothers, because these are the people, when you tell them something, they're actually going to act on it. We need to be also more particular about the urban areas, where we can get a space, even a small space, or planting one tree. Please let us do so.
However, it is regrettable that already 65% of arable land in Africa was too damaged to sustain any meaningful agricultural activities, rallying groups to take up the funds to stop further degradation.
We're here supporting the champions that have already been doing the hard, difficult work of restoring landscapes across the continent. And specifically with this phase of Terra Fund, we're supporting enterprises right here in the Great Rift Valley, which is why we're here launching in the beautiful Nakuru County.
You all heard that 65% of our agricultural land is degraded. We need to do something about that, because if we don't do anything about that, our future generations will blame us.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Now, with the rising rates of crime and drug abuse in the coastal region, the Mombasa County Government, through the Department of Blue Economy, Agriculture and Livestock, led by Kibibi Abdallah Hamis, has initiated an Ukulima Maskani program intended to train the youth on modern farming while providing farm inputs to distract them from the ills in the community, while boosting the government's dream of realizing a food-secure nation. Speaking in Jomvu Ward, the Mombasa Cabinet Secretary stated that at least 30 groups of youth per every ward in Mombasa will benefit to curb unemployment in the region and self-empowerment to the vulnerable generation.
Tunachagua vijana katika kila ward ambao tunawafundisha mbinu za kisasa za ukulima. Mombasa kuwa haina mahali pakubwa pa ukulima, hiyo isitupinge ama isituzuie sisi kama wana Mombasa kutofanya ukulima. Manake njaa ni nyingi, tunaona bei ya unga iko juu. So what can we do to avert this crisis? So tumeona to train hawa vijana wetu, na pia tunawapatia the farm inputs. Tunawapatia hao magunia, tunawapatia pesticides, tunawapatia mbegu, na tunawafundisha ili watekeleze hii miradi, na pia tunawapatia poultry.
Vijana ni muhimu sana katika Mombasa, kwa sababu ukiangalia idadi kubwa ya watu nchini, about 67% ni vijana. Na ni muhimu sana hawa vijana kushughulishwa katika gurudumu la maendeleo. Na maendeleo si kuandikwa kazi katika viwanda. Maendeleo pia inatokana na ukulima.
One of the agendas zetu kama viongozi is to empower our people. So once the youth are empowered, then jamii itakuwa inasonga vizuri, tutapunguza uharibifu, tutaweka kwa makundi, tuhakikisha wamerejesha makundi yao sawa sawa. Project yote ikikuja chini ili tuweze kuwaweka busy. Tunajua ajira hakuna. So hii ni njia moja ya kusaidia vijana wajiajiri.
Now it's time to get to the sports news, where KCB Rugby Football Club will once again renew its rivalry against defending champions Kabras in the 2022-2023 Enterprise Cup final at the RFUA grounds in Nakuru County Saturday afternoon.